who became the world's first supermodel, Twiggy. Plus, we reveal the two lucky girls who are going through to the final of our Opera Diva competition. Now, to one of Britain's most colourful pop stars. Do you really want to make me cry? Do you really want to hurt me? Do you really want to make me cry? Victims we know so well, they shine in your eyes when they kiss and tell. Strange faces we never see, but you're always there, like a ghost in my dreams. Drama, 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 delirium. You come and go, you come and go. Love is easy to colorblind my dreams. And he only wanted to be a bricklayer. Please welcome Boy George. You probably never wanted to be a bricklayer, really, did you?
Well, my brothers all do that. You know, my dad was a builder, so but I decided at 16 that I was going to paint and decorate myself and not work for him. It looked like too much hard work. You know.
So what were your ambitions early on? Was music there right from the very beginning?
Yeah, from the beginning, really. From school. Although at school, music lessons were a little bit old-fashioned for me. I wanted to learn T-Rex songs, and they wanted me to learn green sleeves and classical pieces, so that didn't last. But, you know, music was always kind of, I guess, in a way, my salvation. It was sort of where I escaped to. Because I lived with, you know, I had 6 kids in my family. So, you know, when I wanted to be alone, I would go off and listen to my David Bowie records and, you know, kind of...
Who did you want to sing like?
I kind of grew up listening to lots of things. Because my dad was a builder, my dad used to clear out houses when people passed away, so he'd bring back all these records. So I had everything from Pearl Bailey, you know, Billie Holiday, Sinatra, obviously, stuff that my parents liked. And then, of course, all the stuff that I liked as a teenager, you know, in the 70s, all the glam rock and the Bowies and the Mark Bolan.
We say Boy George now, we immediately have this image of you. We see, you know, with the makeup, with the lavish and outlandish costume. Was it tough for you daring to do that way back when nobody else was doing it? Or do you always just didn't matter, this is what I am, and you were sort of straight away into it?
Well, at school I used to get called names from a very early age, long before I really knew what it was that was different about me. It was like other kids pointed it out. And I got to about the age of 15, and I hooked up with these girls at school who were kind of the outrageous girls, the troublemakers. And they had like pink streaks in their hair and used to wear strange clothes, and that's how it started. You know, it was sort of older kids. You know, my older brother Richard was sort of like a big David Bowie fan, so I kind of inherited all his records, and when the platforms got a bit threadbare, I'd get those, and a few of the old t-shirts. So it was really from my older brother, who was a big music fan, you know, Alice Cooper, all the sort of stuff that was considered outrageous in the 70s. But for me, when I first saw David Bowie, it was like light at the end of the tunnel, you know, because for years I'd kind of thought, you know, there was only one of me on the planet. You know, the sun was like, no, you know, don't do that. That was a big thing, you know, music, you know, I mean, that period in music was so exciting as well.
You do seem, though, George, to keep courting controversy. I mean, you are in and out of newspapers almost as much as
not anymore.
Michael, not anymore.
Not anymore. I'm at the other side of that, and I'm kind of watching it from the outside, you know. I've been through that, you know. And of course, to me, you know, I can see now that I'm, you know, sober and I don't drink, take drugs, and I can see that it's, you know, chaotic and miserable. You know, I mean, I watch it from the outside and I think, God, I was there, and I know what it's like.
So how do you view that, Boy George?
Not as nice as this one. I mean,
so does it embarrass you to look back at what you did, or was it part of it, you know?
I think in a way it's good if it embarrasses you. You know, because there's got to be a point, you know. I mean, I think George Michael's kind of on a par with getting arrested. I think maybe it's overtaken me now, I'm not sure. But I made a decision last year that I wanted no more of that. You know, that was it for me.
So that means self-control?
It does, yeah. It means growing up, actually.
Neither of which have been your strongest suits, have they?
At the moment they are, though, I have to say. You know, at the moment, I think what happened was, for me, I spent too much time thinking about what was wrong with my life rather than looking at what was great about it. And I think that if I was going to give advice to George Michael, I'd say, you're very lucky to do what you do and to get paid for it, as we all are, you know, in this business. And so you've really got to get a perspective, you know. And the only way to do that is to get away from drug problems, you know, get yourself clean. And then you start seeing things, you know, in a much more clear and sensible way. So, you just need to get away from that, you know.
So you'd say to George Lyon, just clean up your act and get on with your job?
Well, I mean, how many times have you been arrested now, you know? I mean, I do sympathise with him, I do absolutely, you know, I don't want to sit here in my glass house and point the finger because it wouldn't be right, but I would say that, you know, you need to get some of what I have right now because I'm very happy.
Well, what was your secret of making the leap, though? Because it's all right saying, oh, just, you know, I'll put all that behind me. It's not easy to do that. You need a heck of a lot of willpower. I mean, were there sort of Damascene moment where you thought, I've seen the light? What was the trigger?
It's a gradual thing, you know. I think when you take drugs, you become quite selfish. And you take the attitude, I'm destroying my life, it's my life. But you're never just destroying your own life. You're destroying the people that love you, people that are close to you, you know, my mother, my sister, my family, you know, they were all very, very sort of upset when I was going through that. So, you know, once you realise that actually it's not just about yourself, you know, once you realise that, then I think you start to get perspective. And, you know, I've kind of broken my mother's heart so many times now, and I want to stop. You know, so, yeah, I made a choice, you know, because it's, you know, the people around you get more hurt than you do, I think.
What you have managed to do is to keep bouncing back. I mean, you've got a new tour coming up. You've got a new single, which we'll hear a little bit later on. So what are your inspirations now? We talked about the early ones. What about the later ones?
I think at the moment it's just, you know, realising how lucky I am and just enjoying, you know, what I do. I took a 10-year break from being a musician and I've been DJing, and recently at the beginning of the year I did a little small tour of the UK just to see whether I wanted to do it and to see whether anyone cared. And lucky for me, they did. And so I'm kind of back doing what I love, and I think that's probably the one thing that will keep me sane because, you know, I'm busy every day now and it's great. Doing useful things rather than destructive things.
Do we still get Karma Chameleon occasionally?
Yes, yeah, we do all those things. I've just come back from South America, so I'm doing all those things.
Well, I won't call it a comeback because in a way you've never been away. You've always stayed there. We would sincerely miss the hats. It's been a great pleasure to talk to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Boy George. Thank you. Now, we'll hear the song a little bit later, but over the past few weeks, the 80s